Okay, so let me put you in my shoes real quick. It's January 2025. Juno by Sabrina Carpenter is playing in my ears. TikTok is totally 100% about to be banned. And I've just finished playing Spider-Man 2 and I feel absolutely nothing. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Spider-Man games, including this one. Just, it felt the same as the first two games and it felt maybe a little rushed, but Insomniac would never do that. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, ew, gross, right? Get me out of your stinky shoes. Ew, yucca. I'll tell you what I was thinking. I need something completely new, completely fresh, something I've never experienced before. So one day, I finally went to Walmart and bought $40 worth of V-Bucks. Oh, and Elden Ring. Okay, quick history lesson from my coworker who thought Dark Souls was part of a shoe. Hidetaka Miyazaki worked at a small company called From Software and was put in charge of a game called Demon Souls. This game was unlike a lot of games at the time because Miyazaki was inspired by the Tough as Nails games from the 80s that the industry had moved away from, to make way for mission markers, tons of tutorials, and rocking you to sleep while putting your own thumb in your mouth. Demon Souls was none of that. You're thrown into the game with no direction, all enemies felt like an achievement to defeat, and people hated it. At least, until they didn't. The minor success of Demon Souls led to Miyazaki leading his new game, Dark Souls, which, unlike its predecessor, got immediate high reviews for its open world and its bosses even more challenging than the first game. Dark Souls cemented itself into gaming legend, creating its own subgenre of game, and has been played by anyone who claims to be a true gamer. I was too busy playing DreamWorks kart racing. Cut to 2022, Elden Ring releases and it's the biggest game FromSoft has ever made. Everyone is talking about it, Jeff Keighley kisses the game on the mouth, and I was still playing DreamWorks kart racing. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, Elden Ring is not my first Souls game. Oh god!
Dude, are you freaking kidding me, man?
Who the hell are you?
You like loot-baiting people a lot, huh, tough guy? Huh? Huh?
Shut up! I swear there's an explanation.
I really couldn't care less. Freak.
Oh god. Oh, ow! Anyway, as I was saying, Elden Ring is my first dive into the Miyazaki-verse. However, technically, I have played a Souls game. Specifically, Another Crab's Treasure. It's definitely a step away from Dark Souls, and the only way this game prepared me for Elden Ring was getting me used to swinging my sword with the right trigger. I mean, if we were going to get more technical, I played Hollow Knight before that. But what's with all the technicalities? What is this, the technology store? Waiter, one technology, please. But again, these were not FromSoft. Miyazaki channeled his inner Sabrina Carpenter and said, "Have you ever tried this one?" And no, I have not tried fighting a giant guy with arms grafted onto him. After creating Rothan, what the hell kind of name is that? I finished up the tutorial area and saw this big, sprawling world in front of me. I could go anywhere. So of course, I spent the first 2 hours trying to fight the first thing I saw. I'm not really sure what I was thinking here. The Tree Sentinel is one of the first things you see when you exit the training area, but it's not something you should be attacking as a beginner. And there's also 20 other things I could be doing. My headspace was, well, Dark Souls is supposed to be this hard, I guess. Luckily, I had friends who pushed me in the right direction without holding my hand too much. But in the words of Vanessa Hudgens, I gotta go my own way. I've got to move on and be who I am. I just don't belong here. I hope you understand. And surprisingly, this world full of giant rats and gargoyles that want to rip my face off helped me get over one of my biggest fears playing open world games. When I played Tears of the Kingdom when it came out and found the first instance of the depths, I decided to just avoid it. And for multiple hours of gameplay, I missed out on one of my favorite parts of the game. This didn't happen nearly as much in Elden Ring, partially because of the death system. When you die, you lose all your runes, the currency you use to level up in the game, and you have to pick them up again. So once you start a boss fight, you're kinda locked in unless you want to lose your progress. This pushed me to keep trying bosses, even if the imp in the back of my brain hole is saying, "You can't beat this," because I found out I really could beat these bosses most of the time if I tried hard enough. So f you, imp.
I always thought I might be bad, now I'm sure that it's true. 'Cause there be treasure!
Finding treasure was super fun at the beginning of my playthrough, but after a while I realized how much of it I can't actually use. I could find this super challenging secret path where I have to walk across lava to find a treasure chest, and look what's inside. It's a big toe. It may be a very cool big toe, but I'd have to completely respec, level it up to the power level of my current sword. And I know Randy, he hates feet. Oh, by the way, this is my second character, Wretched Randy. He's wretched. But the amount of weapons and armor speaks to the customization you can have. Maybe a new player will find this big toe and say, "Yes! Not only do I have a character best suited for this weapon, I also have a foot fetish!" And speaking of armor, that was my favorite thing to find and collect. Not for silly reasons like protecting my character, no. I need Rothan to slay.
We don't say slay, we say.
I would never check to see how different armor would change my stats. Why would I when I can have antlers? I do have one small grievance with the armor. Nearly all of the headgear are masks or cover my face. Don't get me wrong, a lot of these masks are really cool, but I worked hard on making this guy. Randy may have a face only a mother can love, but I'm mommy. Hello, TARDIS. I am Dinklebub McGibbons, and I will give you this quest. Hold up my mask for me because it's really heavy, holy crap. Treasure hunting was definitely fun, but being a new player that didn't understand a lot of the mechanics made a lot of the treasure unusable for me, such as spells or anything used for crafting. But all of the excess stuff I couldn't use made it even more enjoyable when I did find something I could use. But there is one more item in the game that leads us into the final part of this video. Spirit Ashes get a lot of heated debate from Dark Souls veterans, so here's my take on them. I think they're cool. Ow! What the hell? Did we run out of tomatoes?
They weren't in the budget.
The budget? They're tomatoes! There's a lot of dedicated fans who refuse to use these, saying they make the game too easy and get rid of the accomplishment, which I can definitely understand. But for someone who's just starting out, these are a godsend. And when I used them, I never felt like I cheated. It's a game mechanic the game clearly wants me to use. I'm not gonna ignore it. However, during my second playthrough, I've been trying to beat bosses without summons, and it does feel great. I even beat the Tree Sentinel as the worst class in the game without leveling up, and the sense of accomplishment felt amazing. But I never could have gotten to that level without the extra help from my first playthrough. That's a great thing about difficulty in this game. Players get to customize their difficulty by choosing what items they use. Maybe a more skilled player does feel like the game is too easy with Spirit Ashes, so they can choose not to use them. But for me, even with the Spirit Ashes, I never felt like one of my triumphs was undeserved. So was Elden Ring a good starting point for me, or should I have tried another Dark Souls game instead? You thought I thought far enough ahead to play another Souls game? So, small problem. I wrote this script 4 months ago, and I've since played Elden Ring Night Rain. And I know you're probably noticing something different about me. I was chopped in half right at the waist. And honestly, actually, what's with you bringing that up? You know, I'm really self-conscious about it, and it's really, you're harshing the vibe. Wow, this game is good. I'm so happy Elden Ring got me into these types of games, especially because in Night Rain, I can enjoy it with my friends. And when I say enjoy, I mean fighting this thing while severely underleveled, and my party is nowhere near me, and I can't fucking do anything.